So today I am reviewing this practice guide for the ISEE upper level test created by Elevated Prep. This would be the test for kids entering 9th grade through 12th grade. My daughter has been using this book to prepare for her ISEE, which she is taking next month. We've had it all summer. I figured a review would be helpful to other people considering buying the book. So as an overview, this book has practice set questions for each of these sections: verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, reading comprehension, and mathematics achievement. It also has practice prompts for the essay portion. You may or may not know that the essay portion is not graded. It's simply sent with the test as a sample of the test taker's writing abilities. Nevertheless, it does contain certain prompts that I'll show here. So for the verbal reasoning section, it contains synonym practice questions, single sentence practice sets, and double sentence completions practice sets. And then it also includes an answer key for all of the things that are covered in the book. So as you can see here, there are synonyms, there are sentence completion, double sentence completion sets. So the book is very comprehensive in so much as it's questions, practice questions, I think. I do like that. Here in the math section, you'll see that there are 6 sets of math practice sets, and they cover different things. Some are word problems, some have to do with like units and algebra, anything that you would see on the ISEE. There are practice questions to mimic those questions, unit conversions. And then, as I said before, there's an answer key. Here's an example of some other types of practice questions that they have. So negative exponents, roots of numbers, fraction exponents, breaking up roots of variables, scientific notation, quantitative comparisons. Very comprehensive when it comes to the types of questions that it has, in my opinion. Because of this practice book, my daughter realized that there were a lot of concepts here that she hasn't even engaged with in school yet. The practice book, I should note that the practice book is not a substitute for the kids actually not having ever learned a concept. I think that's where the tutor comes in to actually teach them the concept. But the practice book will at least tell you what they're not strong in, and then you can go get tutoring for that. And of course, it also helps with preparing them for the test. Here's another math course that's in the book, or a set of review questions here: simplifying expressions, basic algebra, isolating variables, absolute values, word problems, function notation, again, quantitative comparisons. It's just a really comprehensive set of questions. Following the math is the reading section. They have mini passages and full passages. So as an example, and these are some of the shorter passages. And then here's an example of a longer passage. So the kids really get to get a strong sense of the kinds of questions they're going to see on the ISEE. I want to show you the essay portion. Here you'll see that, it gives an overview, and then it just gives some prompts, which allows them to free write about the prompt. Like one prompt is, what is your most prized possession? And then they get to free write about that for 30 minutes. Me and my daughter, as we used this book to prepare, and we're still preparing, I always keep a timer so that she can do each section under time pressure. And what I would recommend is buying a separate timer. That way, if they're working independently, they don't have to constantly check their phone for the timer, because inevitably a message is going to pop up, or a Snapchat, notification, and that's distracting. So I bought a set of digital timers, and that is what we use to time when we're going through the practice book. Another great thing about this book is it comes with 3 practice tests. I did administer one test, the first practice test, to my daughter last weekend. What I like about the practice test section is it tells you, look, this is how many questions are going to be on the test. This is how much time you're going to have to answer the questions. So that way you can set a timer when they're doing a full test. The full test took about, I think, 2.5 hours, something along those lines. And it was good. Another thing I like about the practice tests is that they come with their own score sheet with the bubbles next to each question number. I like that because it's more real world. So what I did was, when I gave my daughter the first practice test, I actually ripped out the answer sheet and had her do her answers separately on the sheet. And that was just a useful bit of training. The only thing that was a little frustrating was that you don't get like an exact score. You kind of get a ballpark. So like, for example, my daughter finished her first practice test, and then the way that I had to score it was by writing the number of correct answers, because the ISEE does not deduct a point for wrong answers. It only counts correct answers. And then you come over here to the conversion tables, and it kind of gives you a scaled score range. So it just says, hey, you know, if you got 15 right, you're looking at between 852 and 882. And then you come over here, and then you look and see what score is required for certain percentiles. So if you want to be in the 75th percentile, for example, you need to have at least an 892. But if you want to be if you fall in the 25th percentile, you need a minimum 867. And so then you look at the score range to see if you fall in the percentile, versus having a solid score and knowing, hey, my kid got 840 flat, right? So it doesn't give you a flat specific score. It just gives you a range for the practice test. Nevertheless, it's still quite useful. There are 3 practice tests. So overall, I would definitely recommend this book. This book has a companion video series. It's an ISEE upper level on-demand video course. I did not get the video course. I'm told that the video course goes into more depth on the problems. I would highly recommend this book to be part of your test prep for the ISEE. And good luck to your test taker.